So many buyers, when we start looking at homes, especially first-time buyers, will tell me, I just don't want to see any homes that are haunted or someone was murdered in or somebody died in. So let's talk about it. Hi, my name is Lisa. I'm a realtor in Northwest Indiana. I am a licensed broker and owner of Blue Ribbon Realty in Crown Point, where we service from Whiting to Monticello and everywhere in between. I have seen a lot of homes, and stay tuned to the end because I'm going to share you one of my more recent ghost stories. Stay tuned, but in a nutshell, it is not on the seller disclosure, and the seller disclosure is a form that sellers fill out. And there are some cases where sellers are not required to fill out that form, but this is a state of Indiana form. It's 4 pages currently. This is a form the sellers are supposed to fill out to the best of their current knowledge of that home. In the case of like an estate sale or a corporate owned property or like a foreclosure, it's not required. There's a couple other instances where a seller disclosure is not required, but sometimes people still do fill them out. It is a form that the state of Indiana provides. It asks about the age of the roof. Do items in the house work? Has this home been used with hazardous chemicals? Things like that. Is it in a historic district? Is it in a floodplain? Do you pay flood insurance? How old is your roof? How old is the furnace? How old is your air conditioner? Do these items work? Do you not know if they work? Not one question on there says, has somebody died in this home? Has somebody been murdered in this home? Do you believe the home is haunted? So just keep that in mind. It is not a required information that must be disclosed. However, if somebody asks, if a prospective buyer asks, has somebody been murdered in this home, and the seller knows it to be true, they do need to share that information and disclose that. They don't have to disclose it up front unless you ask. So that is something to take in consideration. Now, let me tell you, I've been to many, many homes throughout my professional career, and I have a lot of stories, but one of my most recent stories that I can share with you, I was sharing a home. It was a couple that was a prospective purchaser, and they had a young daughter with them. She was probably around 3 years old. We went into an older home in Lowell, a much older home in Lowell, and it was a Victorian style 2-story home. Needed work, completely vacant, no furniture whatsoever in this home. It had kitchen cabinets, it had counters. It was a finished home, but it needed work and updating, but it was completely vacant, empty. And it was the middle of the day, and we walked in the home. We were looking at the home. The male went straight downstairs to check out everything downstairs, and while he was down there, I was talking to the mom of the daughter, and I was answering her questions, and the little girl started walking up the stairs, and the mom said, "Hey, don't go up there, wait for us." And she turned and said, "The man wants to play." And she continued then to talk to the man. There was no man there. Every hair on my body, I was aware of every hair on my body. It didn't just stand up. I was aware of it. Every goosebump I could feel. And in that instant, we looked at each other, the mom and myself, the buyer, and she went up the stairs, grabbed her daughter's hand, said, no, we're not going up there right now, and walked her downstairs. And she kept pointing to the upstairs and talking about the man wants to play. She grabbed her daughter, and we yelled for her partner's name, said, we're outside, we're done in here. And he came up, and he didn't, he said, as we were walking out the door, he was like, something's wrong with the electric. It kept flickering. I don't know if there's a wire or if a light bulb needs to be twisted in, screwed in all the way, or needs to be replaced. That was it. We're like, not the house. And then we told him what happened. And she was like, this is out of the house. We never made it upstairs all the way. I never saw the bedrooms in this house. It was not my listing. We came in the middle of the day on a sunny day. There you have it. Do I believe in ghosts? Heck yeah, I do. Was that disclosed that this house may be haunted? Nope, it wasn't. Did we bother asking the seller, is it haunted? Did anyone die in there? Was there a murder? Nope, didn't even bother. We already knew. We had our answers. And they decided this was not the house for them. Some people, they like the idea that a house might be haunted. Tell me what you think. I've got plenty more stories. And there's so much that we could talk about when it comes to this. So that's your spooky story for today. Enjoy it. And if you have a story, let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching.